Yeah.
Okay. So, hi, everybody. All right. So, we're just getting set up and ready to go. This should be streaming on my Facebook page, in the Facebook group, the Revolutionary Leadership Collective, and on my LinkedIn. So, we have Isaac Lee Collins here. I was thinking about doing this on Instagram. I just don't know how that would work. Maybe if I set it back here, there's really no way.
I was gonna say,
So,
I think you're cool enough to figure it out. If you do decide to do it, I'm cool to. If you want to
oh,
add
wait.
me on Instagram, I can accept it, and we can be live both if you want to do that.
Yeah. Actually,
You're
okay.
so cool. Look how savvy you are.
I'm just, there's a little stand. It's my Top Gun stand, thanks to, I think, Trevor Lewis's company,
Yep.
whatever they're called again, In-Store
In-store
Design
design.
Display. And hey, it's live. So we're doing this. I hope they can hear. I'll turn you up.
Cool.
So I see two people are here. Randy Kimmel's here. Do you know Randy Kimmel, Isaac?
Randy Kimmel.
Oh, it's okay if you don't. He's a great guy, works for Bank of Labor, one of my clients. I've known him a long time. Back when I was at United Way, he was, I think, at Bank of Kansas City or Bank Midwest or something, and he was our like employee campaign manager there. He was fantastic. So, hey, Randy, and I see someone else is here too. Let us know you're here in the comments. It does have a bit of a delay. Oh,
Yeah.
Facebook user, give StreamYard access to see your name, and then we'll be able to call your name out because I can't see who you are right now. But we'll go ahead and get started. Everybody introduce yourselves and let us know where you're watching from. So Isaac and I are both in Kansas City, Missouri. No, sorry, you're in Lenexa, Kansas. Just on the other side of the state line. And so we are starting these back up. So I was doing lives with other leaders all the time back in, oh, and I see Isaac, you're in Instagram, perfect. All the time. And so we kind of got out of this. I've been focusing more on working with, oh, Chelsea, hey, girl. I know you know Chelsea too, right, Isaac?
Chelsea.
Do you, if you look in the comments side in StreamYard, can you see, you can see who's messaging us.
Oh, Chelsea, what up?
Ah, hello.
I was
So
like, with Chelsea.
with me in too. So we were doing these a lot of times for like my leadership boot camps and stuff. And then I got away from doing that, focused more on working with my company clients and wanting to start this back up because I miss it. And it's such a great opportunity to just have really collaborative conversations. Someday I will be starting like a real podcast. So this is, practice for that and some fodder and ideas. So this will just be really conversational. So Isaac, I'm going to do a bit of an intro and then let you kind of take it away and tell us your journey about Yogurtini. So Isaac and I met through probably Top Gun networking. Yeah. Through other people, a lot of mutuals. And Isaac owns a chain of yogurt shops here in Kansas City. He has 3 and is in the process of opening 3 more, which is absolutely incredible. So proud of you. And so take it away and tell us a little bit more about yourself and your business. And then I'll just ask you some like leadership questions about leading and owning a brick and mortar store. And if people have questions, put those in the comments. And there, again, is a bit of a lag, but we will try to make sure that Isaac gets to those as well. So tell us about yourself.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a blessing being your friend over the last handful of years. And I'm excited to be here. Been watching your journey and whatnot. And yeah, I'm excited to be here with you and your squad. So it all started 1989. No, I'm not going to go that far back.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
How much time do you guys have here for me to go down my whole journey? So yeah, I would say my wife and I, we are way too busy doing all of the things, the business things and the kid having and raising thing. But I would say our main thing as far as how we make money is Yogurtini. Like Haley said, we own 3 of them across the Kansas City Metro. We're wanting to expand, but this journey of entrepreneurship for me first started 11 and a half years ago in 2012, right out of college, when I was afforded the opportunity to purchase a brick and mortar store called Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, which was a franchise. And I actually had to move to Iowa for that. I did that for 4 years, but 3 of those years I was actually living in Iowa, owner operator, running those stores, etc. And really at the end of that 3rd year, it was summer 15, and I just really missed home. I missed my family. I missed my friends. Both sides of them, of the family was in Kansas City, and I was like, I really wanted to go home. So I contacted corporate and I said, do you have any opportunities in Kansas City with the Rocky Mountain? And they said, we have nothing on the chocolate side, but we just acquired this yogurt business. We think it'd be good for you. I looked at it, ended up being Yogurtini, purchased it, and we started that location June 15th, 2015. That's how we kind of started. And then from there, every 2 or 3 years, we've added another location, which we're kind of still in that same time frame now.
Awesome. Well, I love that. And I think that even the fact that you realized like you missed home, you wanted to have a change, like that shows that you have like self-awareness enough to like listen to your emotions and your spirit, and then to speak up and be brave and say, hey, I need to change. So some people wouldn't do that and they would just wallow in misery, so glad you didn't have to do that.
Oh, it was hard. It was really hard.
It was 2015 you decided to get Yogurtini and move back here.
Yes. Yeah. So for 1 year, I owned the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory in Iowa, right outside of Iowa City, and the Yogurtini. And after being back home, I was like, this is too sweet. I can't keep splitting my time and going from one place that I love, where all my people are, going back to Iowa, where I only really made like 2 friends there. And so the drive wasn't great and whatnot. So I ended up selling that, and we put those earnings into everything else that we started doing. We started just, I kind of fell into the trap of them saying the average millionaire has 7 income streams. So I was like, we're going to do some real estate investing again. We're going to buy a condo. We're going to start a nonprofit. We're going to start a startup company, and then 2 more Yogurtinis. So
yeah, you like to stay busy. I can tell.
I do. I get very bored, but I'm trying to get rid of all of the other stuff and just kind of hone it to Yogurtini business, coaching, and then family.
Yeah, I'd say you have a lot on your plate, but maybe it's more like a lot in your bowl, because it's a yogurt bowl.
I see you. I see what you did there.
Funny. So tell us, so this is really, I want us to talk about how it is to lead people, especially across multiple locations. And that really resonates, I bet, with Randy, because he works for a bank. They have lots of different branches and different teams. So what is it like managing people across different locations across the city? Talk about some of the things that are like your best practices for doing it well and making sure your team is like strong in their communication skills, and then they're just to be like high performing so that your company's successful.
Sure. So one of the things I think is very interesting about entrepreneurship, and in this case, leadership, is I posted about this the other day. Like, when we're employees and we're not necessarily leaders, there's certain things that we're asking of our leaders and that we want and that we really, really need to feel like we're empowered and we really belong there. But there's this thing that I see happen all the time, that when people get positions of power, they forget how it was to be an employee and to be a team member. And they start showing up in the ways that they think they're supposed to, versus the collection of data that they themselves have of, I don't like this as an employee. And so for me, I did the same thing for years and years. I think I would say my superpower is my empathy. But for the first 6 years of entrepreneurship, I wasn't using that empathy. And I was just doing it like, oh, this is how I was taught. This is how you're supposed to show up. Here's how we do this. And it worked to a certain extent, but it still kept me working a lot more hours because I was having too much turnover. Because after a while, people were like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. I'm empowered. I'm not delegated to. I'm not feeling seen. I'm not feeling heard. And so it took me 6 years in to finally learn that lesson, and to be like, all those things that your mother and your father taught you, all those things that you learned from working with good bosses and also not so good bosses, you can do those. You're an entrepreneur. You don't have to follow someone else's rules. We like to break rules. So let's do that and flip it on its head and like see what happens. So I did that. And from then on, we've just been growing and being able to lead people and get them going. So that's our biggest thing, is we try to get rid of the ego of, I know exactly what's best. And we flip it on its head of like, it's no longer top down, it's bottom up, in the way of, we're listening to our people. A lot of the decisions that are made are from our frontline employees, our 14, 15, 16-year-olds. Just so that makes sense, for our organization, we have 55 employees. 5 of them are managers. The other 50 are between the ages of 14 and 19.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the nature of the beast that we're in with who we hire. But they're so good to listen to because they haven't been jaded by work yet. So they don't know the rules of it. So
Mm-hmm.
we're always asking so many questions. So when a 15, 16-year-old comes in and they're like, why do we do it that way? I want to do it this way. We're like, freaking revolutionary. Why didn't we even think about that? So
Mm-hmm.
everyone's heard, everyone has a voice, and we actually back that up now, not just by saying it like we used to, but also following it through with our actions as well.
I love that. And Isaac, that's such an important thing that so many leaders forget. And there's this really great article I can share in the comments of this video afterward from The Atlantic from a few years ago, where it talks about how power can cause brain damage in leaders. So that's why we sometimes see, especially like CEOs or high level politicians and stuff, who seem incredibly unempathetic to the people around them, not curious about what they're saying, or listening to their concerns, because they stop being able to have empathy or being able to mirror people, put themselves in their employees' positions and stuff, or in their positions of perspective and experience. So I think it's amazing that you're listening to these like 15-year-olds who are not jaded yet. Like you said, they're not thinking, well, I'm just going to stay quiet because nobody's going to listen to me anyway. Like we hear that in corporate America all the time, where people won't give candid feedback or be honest about their experiences because they've been shut down, and even like their spirit's been crushed so much. That happened to me, and that's really one of the reasons I started my business, because I didn't want to ever be somebody who didn't speak up anymore. That's my personality. If there's a problem, as Vanilla Ice says, yo, I'll solve it. And you know, so I think that's amazing. I love that you are able to do that. Do you have any sort of like organized way of collecting that feedback or taking their suggestions and creating change from it?
Yeah, so I call them interventions. I know some people just simply call them meetings, but I want the friction of a crucial conversation early and often. So we have it with our organization. We have a typical hierarchy chart of who's, it's me, it's my district manager, it's my store managers, assistant managers, shift leaders, team members. We have the whole thing going on down, but it's constant conversation at all levels and meetings going on. So for me, I'm having conversations with my managers weekly, is when we do that, and we have a whole thing that we go through, and like I'm wanting to know and also encourage conversations to happen. They're having conversations with their people. I got this actually when I worked at Olive Garden. When I worked and served in Olive Garden for 4.5 years, we had what was called a check-in and a check-out. So there was always an intervention before every single shift with the manager and their team. So there was this friction that was created of like, here is what the focus is, here's what the numbers currently look like, go and do your thing. And then also check out of like, how did it go type situation. We do that as well with our managers and our shift leads with their team members, that friction of like, here's the list for today, here's what was going on. The managers also have a team meeting with each store's entire team. So everyone's getting cross-pollination and synergy there. So they're getting to know each other deeper, because that increases the retention as well, if they like the people and know the people they work with, but also they're being told all together what the whole focus is, and we always bring some fun into it as well. And then quarterly, we try to get everyone together and we do a quarterly in-person manager meeting so we can praise and love on our team, but also say, here's where we were, here's where we are now, here's where we're going. So that friction is imperative for us, because we really try to build a business that is people, like it's a people-centric business. It's people having real conversations, it's having crucial conversations, it's treating others like they're actual people and not just like little robots that are here to serve yogurt.
Yes.
People are more than just the work that they do.
Right. Because I mean, you probably could have a place where everything is robot operated, and you don't have that. You have human beings serving the candies that go on top of the yogurt and all that, so yeah, you have to embrace the human experience through it. I think that's great. It sounds like it is really organized in that way and structured. I really like that you talked about friction in a positive way. I think some people would hear that word and think, ooh, friction, that means like confrontation, conflict, all these negative words that people would have a bad association with. And I'm like trying to also like change people's perspectives of those words: friction, confrontation, conflict. Any sort of disagreement is conflict. It doesn't mean it becomes, World War III. It just means that, two people have different perspectives and you need to talk through it. It's a chance to be curious and brave. So that's really amazing.
Yeah.
What are some other like tips you'd have as somebody who manages humans across different locations, like some best practices that you'd want to share with people who are listening?
Sure. So the biggest thing as far as that is like, it really does come down to the communication piece. I mean, it solves most or all things and devastates most or all things if you're not doing it correctly. So what I mean by that is like, you as the leader, your people are going to follow you and understand what you're doing more so by what you're doing versus what you say. So you can say, do this, do this, do this, and lead like this, and show up like this, and say this, but like they're watching your actions. And if those aren't congruent, you're going to lose a lot of trust with your people, a lot of trust. And so for us, I try to model those conversations in what we're talking about of those frictions. I mean, we have tough conversations with our entire manager team, and some of those things are them grilling me because I made a decision that wasn't good, or I'm putting something forward that isn't the best thing that we do. The second thing when it comes to that is like you have to drop the ego. There is no ego when it comes to leading. One of the best things that you can do to again earn trust and also keep it is admit your faults, admit when you're wrong. And like, my team knows I'm flawed. My team knows I don't see things correctly. I'm a big time wonder and visionary. And so like my fatal flaw is I think 10 years in the future, structure, hierarchical structures, new locations, new systems, what we're going to do when this happens, lease negotiations. That's awesome for like the vision of where we're going. But like, I miss it in the day to day. I'm not good in the day to day. And so I'll say something and it very clearly shows that I don't have that there. And so I show up and I apologize, like, hey guys, I missed it here. Hey, I think you said that, but like, honestly, I was in my head when you were talking and I didn't hear you. You're human, like, and your people will be okay with that as long as you show up as human and say, hey, I screwed up. Hey, I messed up here. Hey, I'm sorry. Because they're like, okay, he's like one of me. We're all human here. But if you show up and think that you're all high and mighty and like don't listen to your team, again, I keep talking about trust because it's really hard to gain it, but it is immediate when you lose it type situation. And that is when people quit you. People don't quit the business, they quit the owner or the manager or the leader.
Yeah. Because it's all about people and interactions. That's a great point. I love that you approached it with so much humility where you could even say like, oh, I zoned out. I was in my head and I wasn't listening. I mean, some people could get
morning.
Oh, really?
This morning I had a 9:45 meeting with my entire manager team, and I was preparing for this towards the end of it. And I thought we were kind of done, but my district manager started kind of broke open the conversation, was talking about something. And I was like, oh, they got it. And I was trying to get this post up on Instagram to get people to watch this. And after they went around to all the managers, my district manager was like, well, boss, what do you think? I hate when they call me that, but they're like, well, boss, what do you think? And I was like, I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't listening. Like I was trying to get this post up. I'm so sorry. Like, can you please just repeat it? They repeated it. It wasn't like, oh, well, I think it. So that's like, I fail a lot. But I admit that as well. And when I'm at my worst, I don't admit that. And it causes negative friction with my team and they lose trust in me. So I try to have more positives than negatives because I don't get this right every time.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing. I mean, humility is, well, like, it's funny. I was at a Top Gun event probably a year ago and telling somebody about what I do. And they were like, oh, tell me what the best leadership tip is you got right now. And I said, like, leaders need to be more humble. And I think some people are appalled by that. And like, even like you said, that empathy is your superpower. There are some people who see it as a weakness, which is so odd to me. It's literally like in Strengths Finder, it's one of the strengths. And I in the past had a high level leader at an organization I worked with kind of joke and brag about how empathy was his very least strength. And I'm all about like self-deprecation joking, but not like it's not funny to joke about not being empathetic. It's a very, yeah, it's a red flag. Good point. Like it's a vital human connection builder. If you're not empathetic, where you can like put yourself in someone's shoes, it's kind of a big deal. I mean, it'll make sense if it is his lowest, he wouldn't know that because maybe I should have more empathy for him, you know? But I think it's great that you can like use that as a green flag in your leadership skills.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of people support you as like directors of operation or those branch managers, and how do you help build them up within their skill set and help them grow as managers, as leaders, get promotions and raises? Like, what do you do in order to kind of coach them within?
Sure. Well, the first thing is you have to have those things readily available. There has to be something that they can work up to. Just, I mean, my friends who were like, oh, well, we don't have anything for them to work up to. I'm like, there's always something to get people to work up to. Even if it isn't a promotion, you can work them up to something, because this isn't like anecdotally, I think you should. It's literally human psychology of people want to progress and get better and know that they're moving forward. And if you make them feel like they're stagnant and stuck, that's not going to be good for them staying at your organization. One of the things that we do in that regard is, again, have the conversation. I need to know what motivates you, and I need to know what you are trying to achieve, because I am heavily motivated by money. Achievement, money, public recognition is what I need. Maybe it's my insecurities, but I want people to see that I'm awesome. That is what not everyone in the world is like me. And I spent way too much time thinking, oh, I'll just throw a bonus at them, or I'll throw a gas card or something like that, and they'll be happy. And it's like, the team that I have now, what they want is peak life experiences and more time off.
Yeah.
If I can give them 2 more days of PTO or a week of PTO, they are so happy, because they love the work that they do, but they also love their family and their friends, or going to a festival or whatever that piece is. So it's really hard to motivate someone if you don't know what actually motivates them.
Oh, yeah.
And once you know that, it's a cheat code, because then you can keep coming back to that, not in like a negative, like I'm holding this over your head, but like, here's what you said, Kyle. I don't have any organization named Kyle, just to say, but like, Kyle, you said you wanted this thing. Your actions that you're showing right now are not going to lead me to doing this for you to get you to that thing. I'm helping you align with what you said you wanted to achieve. Here's where I can help you to get you back on track, to get you closer to your goal. That's a conversation that I have with my managers, and I'm training them to have with their shift managers and shift leads as well.
Love that. Yes. And like training managers to then manage people below them too. That's so important. A lot of times, people get thrown into these manager roles because they got promoted for doing good technical work, and they've had no development, no training. I mean, that's one of the reasons, again, I started VAXA Collective, because it's like, people have to get trained before they're actually doing the job sometimes too. So I think it's awesome that you're continuing the training as well. That's so wonderful. I love it. And I see a couple more people said hi. You have to give StreamYard access to see your name so that we can see, or so that we can see it in the studio. So feel free to do that, or tell us what your name is, because I like to be able to call people out and say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see we have one person, I'm not sure who they are. Tell us in the comments on Instagram. If you're watching on our Instagram live, I see somebody's watching. Oh, you've requested. I'm so sorry. Go live with Isaac. Sorry.
Me.
Well, there's another person too. G1. Oh, wait. I think that might be my old instructor in my master's program. Oh, Aaron Stroman. Hey, do you know him, Isaac? Oh, shoot. Actually, now we're going to have all this weird. I'm going to remove you.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Bye. There, sorry. Yeah, we decided to be really ambitious and try my phone and my laptop and everything all at the same time. Aaron Stroman does fundraising consulting. Tell us more about that in the comments if you want, Aaron. He is in like the Gardner area. So your side of the state line, Isaac. Oh, Carrie Agler. She was in the Revolutionary Leadership Lab in the past. Sorry, so many
good squad here.
Yeah, we have a lot of people. I'm so glad. Yeah, so I'm glad you guys are watching. So as we're wrapping up, I don't want to, go way too over 12:30. Tell us what final tips you have for people, as well as where people can go to a Yogurtini if they're here in the KC area, and any other ways to get in touch with you.
Sure. For 2024, I have two words that are really focused, and I think it's going to be the name of my parent company, is elevate and serve. The concept of serve has always been just floating around. It used to be a business name of mine back when we had a protein company. It's part of the tagline for Yogurtini, serve yourself, which obviously because it's self-serve frozen yogurt, but also like we have serve initiatives through Yogurtini. And so for me, you and I were talking about it earlier, but based off of human design. And, the thing for yours is I think something that all of us need to do is like, how can we focus on just being our biggest, most brightest, most authentic self? Like not how the world's supposed to, you think you're supposed to show up in the world, but like you doing your thing. For me, I'm a Christian. So using your God-given gifts to show up as your best, most radiant, impactful self. How can you do that? And then when you do that and you're elevated, how can you then from your lighthouse or your higher elevation serve the people that are around you when it comes to that? And like a lot of us have this concept, and I'm the same way, of like, I want to change the world. And it's like, to change the world, we have to first change our region. Well, first we have to change our city. Well, first we have to change our neighborhood. Well, first we have to change our house. And well, first we have to change inside of us. So like serve yourself first, and then serve your family, and then keep going out like that. Because with leadership, there really is levels to this thing. And you cannot skip all of those steps and say, I'm going to start a community and have a movement. I promise you're just not equipped for it yet. So do work day by day. And as you get better, it's going to get easier for you to start having more influence when it comes to that. Like we're going to do 3 more locations in the next 3 years. I'm excited to have 6 locations across the Kansas City Metro. I couldn't have 6 locations in 2018 because I wasn't a good enough leader to have 6 locations, which would put us right around 100 or so employees. Like I was having a hard time running one store with 10 people, let alone 100 people. So there's levels to it. Just start where you're at and just keep getting better and better and better. But if you are in the Kansas City area, we have 3 locations, one on the Country Club Plaza, the South Plaza. We're in Liberty in the Shoal Creek area. We're off 152. And we are in Overland Park on 135th and Antioch.
Awesome. I've been to the Country Club Plaza one before, right between the Mix and Chipotle. So really you could get a salad starter, Chipotle entree, and then Yogurtini dessert, and then grab the library across the street,
Trifecta. Go and get you a library book. That's a great library over there. It's a good hangout for people for sure.
Love that. Well, this has been awesome. If people are watching this later as a replay and you have questions for Isaac, can I give them permission to email, or not email? Well, they can email you too, but tag you in the comments and ask you questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Yeah, so people can tag Isaac in the comments and ask questions if you have any follow-up stuff. That's in the Facebook group, Revolutionary Leadership Collective. If you're like my friend and viewing it there, or if you're on, I see people are watching from LinkedIn too, and they can tag you there. Especially LinkedIn, you want to tag him, because I feel like LinkedIn isn't as good at like giving a notification like ping, whenever, at least sometimes people comment on my stuff and then I've never even seen it because it never gave me like my notifications are not turned on or something. I need to figure that out. So
either really good at it or really bad with it. So
yeah, I need to know that somebody posted an article. I've never even heard of this person. I'd love to know if Isaac commented on my post requesting, information or something. So yeah, I see some other people are here. This is great. Okay, good. Well, I'll figure out this whole computer situation next time. Thank you so much for being here, Isaac. And how can people get a hold of you? I see your website is here on the screen. Any other ways, like on social media or email or anything you want people to look at?
Sure. Yeah. So you can do isaacleecollins.com. There's information about what I do on there from Yogurtini, but also coaching business. But the most direct way is at Isaac Lee Collins on pretty much any social media sites. I tend to hang out the most on Instagram, but I'm also very active on LinkedIn as well. Definitely least active on things like X and Threads. On all those kinds of things. We're on all of them at Isaac Lee Collins, but Facebook's another one that we're pretty active on. So I would say Instagram or LinkedIn's where you can find me hanging out and chatting it up.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. And thanks for people for watching. I see somebody else just joined too. Tell us who is here and who's watching in the comments. And we'd love to say hi. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much for your time, Isaac. This was wonderful. I'm going to be doing these more consistently weekly, usually at noon Central Time. And then it'll just depend on the day because I don't do things that consistently, you know? So... Well, you know, it's just I'd rather be more flexible and squeeze it in, and people will catch it if they catch it, and they can watch a replay if they want. And maybe we'll embrace this whole situation. Oh my God, yeah, you're right. My Social Security card is within view. I recently had to get a new Social Security card because my parents lost it.
How can they see that?
It was on my that is such a good point. Whoever that was, thank you. God, I hope that I haven't had my identity stolen now. I think only like 3
Oh, it is right there.
Yeah. Wow. That is what people shouldn't do. There's a tip for you. Maybe I should go sign up for like, is it Life Alert or what's that thing that like makes people? No, that's if you fall.
That's for older people, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for that. Whoever said that. I'm not sure who that is. Tell us who you are and I'll thank you so much. Anyway, thank you so much. And oh, Jeff Moore's here. Good. He was in my cohort for the MCC Department of Labor super fun cohort that we did on management apprenticeship. So cool manufacturing group of people. So hi, Jeff. Glad you're here. Check out Yogurtini. Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Isaac. And thank you, everybody. I'm going to end this now and you can reach out to us if you have questions.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Haley.